in researching this, looking for modern people, modern Christians talking about obedience, I can tell you there wasn't a lot out there. So I went to two classics, Saint Benedict and Dorotheos, two guys that lived in the 400s to 600s, and they knew what it was like to be obedient to something. In fact, in St. Benedict's writings, he wrote that obedience, he says this, that obedience means giving up your own will once and for all, armed with the strong, noble weapons of obedience, doing battle for the true King, Christ our Lord. What Benedict is saying is that there are two different aspects in our lives, and we see this in Paul in Romans chapter 7. Is that we have a will that we want to do, a flesh, a desire that we think is good and pleasing and acceptable to us. And then there is something that is of God that calls us differently. And there's this kind of battle going on internally. And are we going to listen to the voice and the calling of God? Are we going to live out the ways of our flesh? And Paul so much says in Romans 7, I know the things that I should do, and I don't do those things. But the things that I know that I should be doing, those are the things that I shouldn't be doing, those are the things that I actually do. I mean, think about it in our lives. How many times are we faced with the reality of this is where we believe God is leading us and God is calling us, and we just say, no, that's not going to be easy. Or no, that's not going to be pleasant. Or no, I don't really want to do that. I mean, I can tell you at 16, I didn't really want to be a preacher. That's not everybody's teenage dream. But this is where God has led. This is where God has called. So what St. Benedict is saying is that there is this battle, this war going on, and we have to face it head on. And in doing so, we have the power of Christ to battle for the true King so that his will be done, that we will surrender our will to him and not become slaves to what he calls the sloth of obedience. And that's how it is with obedience in our lives too, is it is a monumental task. It seems near impossible. But what Dorotheos says, he takes it further and he says, for us to do it, we have to cut off little by little our own will. Just like the way to eat that giant steak is to do it little by little and bite by bite, the way for us to obey God, to faithfully surrender our will to his, is to do it a little bit at a time. I mean, think about yesterday. What happened in your life yesterday? And what is one thing that you know that you didn't do that God might have wanted you to do? Any of y'all got something? Like, I got something already. How can we say, okay, God, I give that part of myself to you, and I want you to take it, you to have it, so that today, just a little bit more, I can follow you.